I can think about is, oh, should I hit the start button? Anxiety is like the worst feeling. My heart feels like it's gonna bear in my chest. Yesterday I was scrolling on Facebook like we all do. And I came across this meme, and it was about the love of a mother-in-law. I just started crying, and I kind of have like this, you just kind of cry throughout your day. And the rest of the night, I just noticed that I couldn't stop crying. And all this stuff started coming up. And I find that happens a lot where, like, I'll get in a really good space, and then I'll be feeling my energy, my energy feels really good, and then I'll find like this something sitting in my energy that just doesn't feel good. And when I do that, I'll kind of sit with it for a second, and I'll kind of ask myself, like, is this something I'm ready to look at? Is this something that I'm ready to heal through? Or, do I just need to kind of leave it and come back later? And it was obvious to me that it was time to look at it. I'm sweating. So, I met my mother-in-law, Gigi, in kind of a interesting way. Me and John had only been dating for, I don't even know, probably 4 or 5 weeks. And I kind of do this thing where when I'm falling in love with somebody, I pay attention to them, and I like to do these gestures or these gifts for them. Not like buy them things, but like things that I know would really let them know that they mean something to me. And so I had this idea for this gift. But the only way that I was going to be able to pull it off was if I had somebody in his family who could help me. And so I hacked into his email. I got his mom's information, and without him knowing, I reached out to his mom. Now, looking back, it's kind of crazy, right? Like, stage 5 clinger. But, me and his mom, like, we had this really great connection. And she helped me pull this gift off, and it ended up being so beautiful. Giving him this gift was actually one of my favorite memories in my entire life. And she lived in New Jersey, and we lived here, and so we would visit her, but we would email back and forth a lot. She treated me like her daughter. And that was really special to me because when I was 5, my mom, my biological mom, was in a car accident. And I remember my dad sat down with me and my sisters, and he said, Mama's been in a car accident. And she has a brain damage. And she's never going to be the same. And I couldn't really understand what that meant at 5. And then my mom came home. She was just different. It was like her body was still there. She still looked like my mom. She sounded like my mom. But she felt so different. And I really struggled with that. She was super affectionate and loving. And there was no one that made me feel like my mom made me feel. And then after the accident, it was just different. And it's hard when something like that happens because it's almost like the mom that I knew died, but because she was still physically here, like, no one really acknowledges that. I love my mom, and she's always going to be my mom. I love that she brought me into this life. But I would be lying if I said I didn't miss who my mom was before the accident. And that loss was really traumatic for me. And so when me and Gigi connected, it was like, it was so special. She helped me through a lot. And she never judged me. And when me and John would have problems and I would reach out, she never just took his side because he was her son. She literally loved both of us and just wanted what was going to be best for us. The first day that I met her in person, she told John, I hope Sarah can become your wife. And he told me later that his mom had never, no woman was ever good enough for him in her eyes. And before we got back on the plane, she pulled me aside and she talked to me one-on-one, and she gave me her original engagement diamond from her husband, her late husband, who she was with her entire life. And I was like, how could this woman just love me and accept me so quickly? Like, I was so happy because I felt like I had found a little piece of that was missing. And then one day, me and John get this call that says, your mom's in the hospital and we can't tell you what's wrong. We just need you to get here now. And within 72 hours, she went from this vivacious, loud, lovable Italian mom to this vegetable state. She couldn't talk. She couldn't walk. She couldn't breathe on her own. She couldn't eat on her own. I went to Jersey as many times as I could in that year. She was in the hospital for a year. And I just sat on the side of her bed and I'd comb her hair and I'd paint her nails and told her that, like, she was gonna get through this, but inside my heart I just I was trying to be strong for her, and I was trying to be strong for me, and I was trying to be strong for John. And it was probably my second or third visit. Something changed for me. You know, when you think about somebody, you think about the way that they look. And you have all these memories about what their face looks like. And if you've ever been around somebody who's in a vegetable state, the muscles on her face start to change. She started to look different. Felt like I was watching her die in slow motion. It pushed on so many things for me because I felt like here I am again, losing my mom, and she's never going to be the same. And I didn't have a chance to prepare her to say goodbye. When I was 5, I left my mom like normal and went to school, and then, that was it. I didn't want to go anymore. I didn't want to see her like that anymore, and then I felt guilty. I didn't want to be around her. Took a huge toll on me, and took a huge toll on John. Probably one of the major factors in the breakdown of our relationship. Me and John talked about divorce. We separated. And I asked him if he was going to tell his mom, and he said he couldn't, that it would break her heart, that she would die. There was no way that he could tell her that. And I couldn't tell her. And so we just pretended like we were still together. And I convinced myself that she wouldn't know if I didn't go anymore. I started to wonder if she even knew if I was there, because at first it was like I'd walk into the room and she'd light up like she knew I was in the room, and then the last couple times I went, it was like just no response. And in my mind this whole time, it's like what brings me comfort is to just not think about it, to think that like she's still alive and still in New Jersey, and she's just, I talk to her all the time in my head. So to me, she doesn't feel gone. It still feels like we have these conversations. I tell her about, talk to her about the divorce, and talk to her about Jeff, and tell her about Layla, and I just keep this relationship going. It's so hard for me to accept that she's not actually physically here anymore. Like, I've never dealt with death before. I've never lost anybody before, and I don't know what you're supposed to do in these situations. I just know that it feels better for me to just imagine that she's still there, and that she's just living her life and I'm living my life, and it's been years, and I know that I need to face it. Sometimes you go through something, and then the next time you go through it, you feel stronger, like I've been through this before and I can handle this. And this wasn't that. This was like, I don't think I can do this again. Maybe it had something to do with only being 5 years old, but losing my mom in the way that I did, and even saying losing her feels weird because she's still here, so people don't understand. What do you mean you lost your mom? I'm like, you just don't get it. Oh gosh. I I just miss them. I miss both of them, and it's just super hard to accept. I have noticed how this plays a role in me connecting with women because I'm afraid to create that kind of connection and then to lose it. And I know that if I work on healing the parts of me that feel this way, it's just going to open up more possibilities and more connections and more experiences like the ones that I had that I loved so much. So I know I need to look at this. It's just I didn't feel like I was ready to before, and then last night when all this came up, I was like, I need to look at it, and then my first instinct was just to bury it again and to not talk about it and to, and if you've been watching me for any amount of time, especially through stuff that I go through, it's like sharing it with you guys somehow makes it very real, and it makes me, forces me to look at it. And so I wanted to just get on here and share with you guys how I was feeling about this. And like I said, I've never dealt with death before, and I haven't dealt with her death. And I don't know if anybody has any advice or books or anything that helped them out, but I believe that the energy still exists. I believe that somewhere Gigi's energy is still there, my mom's energy is still there. But not having that personality here with you is my sister commented, absolutely everything changed after the accident. Our entire world got flipped, just as we were finding our place in the world. Mamas are safe, They're where we can retreat to and feel protected in a different kind of way than dads, Dads are more like stand behind me, and moms are more like come into me. It's just different. I know that this has made me show up differently for my daughter, and for that I'm extremely grateful. But it still hurts like a lot. I just appreciate you guys being open to letting me share with you, giving me a safe space and a platform to share. And I just appreciate you guys.